Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 7, Text 23. So I'm just going to read till text 29 and then we can do it together. Gunamaya swashaktasya sargastityapayana vipho datse yadha swagdrik puman brahma vishnu shiva bhigam. O Lord, you are self-effulgent and supreme. You create this material world by your personal energy, and you assume the names of Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara when you act in creation, maintenance and annihilation. Purport. This prayer is actually offered to Lord Vishnu, the Purusha, who in his incarnations as the Guna avatars assumes the names Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara. Text 24. Tvam Brahma Paramam Guhyam Sada Sadbhava Bhavanam Nana Shakti Vid Avatas Tvam Atma Jagadishvaraha. You are the cause of all causes, the self-effulgent, inconceivable, impersonal Brahman, which is originally Parabrahman. You manifest various potencies in this cosmic manifestation. Purport. This prayer is offered to the impersonal Brahman, which consists of the effulgent rays of Parabrahman. Parabrahman is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan. When Lord Shiva is worshipped as Parabrahman, the worship is meant for Lord Vishnu. Text 25. Tvam Shabda Yoni Jagad Adiratma Pranedriya Dravya Guna Swabhava Kala Kratu Satyam Ritam Cha Dharmas Dvaya Aksharam Yad Ridri Vidda Amananti. O Lord, you are the original source of Vedic literature. You are the original cause of material creation, the life force, the senses, the five elements, the three modes, and the Mahatattva. You are eternal time, determination, and the two religious systems called truth, satya, and truthfulness, rita. You are the shelter of the syllable Om, which consists of three letters, A-U-M, Om. Text 28-26. Agnir mukham te kila deva atma kshitam viduloka bhavangri pankajam kalam gatim te kila deva tatmano dishas chakarno rasanam jalesham. O Father of all planets, learned scholars know that fire is your mouth, the surface of the globe is your lotus feet. Eternal time is your movement. All the directions are your ears, and a Varuna, master of the waters, is your tongue. Purport. In the Shruti mantras it is said, Agni Sarva Devata. Fire is the aggregate of all demigods. Agni is the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is through Agni or fire that the Lord accepts all sacrificial oblations. Text 27. Nabir nabaste shwashanam nabasvan suryas jajakshumshi jalam smaritaha paravataram shrayan tavatma somu manodoy bhagavan shiraste. O Lord, the sky is your navel, the air is your breathing, the sun is your eyes, and the water is your semen. You are the shelter of all kinds of living entities high and low. The god of the moon is your mind, and the upper planetary system is your head. Text 28. Gokshi samudra girayosti bhatsanga romani sarvaushadi virudaste Chandamshi sakshat tava sapta datava strayi maitmam dridayam sarva dharmaha. O Lord, you are the three Vedas personified. The seven seas are your abdomen, and the mountains are your bones. All drugs, creepers, and vegetables are the hairs on your body. The Vedic mantras like Gayatri are the seven layers of your body, and the Vedic religious system is the core of your heart. Okay, text 29. So we'll do this one together. Mukhani Panchupanishad Davesha Mukhani Panchupanishadas Davesha Yai Trimshad Ashtotara Mantra Varga Ye Trimshad Astotara Mantra Vargaha Yat Dach Chivakyam Paramatma Tattvam Yat Tat Chivakyam Paramatma Tattvam Deva Swayam Jyoti Avastitis Te Deva Swayam Jyoti Avastitis Te Mukhani Panchopanishadas Tavesha Ye Trimshadastotra Mantra Vargaha Yatta Chivakyam Paramatma Tattvam Deva Swayam Jyoti Avastitaste Mukhani Panchopanishadastavesha Yatrim Shadastotra Mantra Vargaha Yatta Chivakyam Paramatma Tattvam Deva Swayam Jyoti Avastistate
Mukhani Panchopanishadastavesha
Mukhani Panchopanishadastavesha
Yastrim Shad Ashtotara Mantravaga Yatat Chivakyam Paramatma Tattvam Deva Swayam Jyoti Avistiti
Mukhani Panchopanishadastavesha Yastrim Shad Ashtotara Mantravaga Yatat Chivakyam Paramatma Tattvam Deva Swayam Jyoti Avastiste
Mukhani Panchopanishadastavesha
Mukhani Panchopanishadastavesha Yastrim Shad Ashtotara Mantravaga
Paramatma Tattvam Deva Swayam Jyoti Avastitaste Mukhani Panchopanishadastavesha Yatrim Shadastotra Mantra Varga Yatta Chivakyam Paramatma Tattvam Deva Swayam Jyoti Avastitaste Mukhani faces Pancha 5 Upanishada Vedic literatures Tava your Isha O Lord Yea by which Trimshat Asta Uttaramantra Vargaha in the category of 38 important Vedic mantras. Yat, that, as it is. Shiva Akyam, celebrated by the name Shiva. Paramatma Tattvam, which has ascertained the truth about Paramatma. Deva, O Lord, Swayam Jyoti, self-illuminated. Avastiti, situation. Te, of your Lordship. Translation. O Lord, the 5 important Vedic mantras are represented by your 5 faces, from which the 38 most celebrated Vedic mantras have been generated. Your Lordship, being celebrated as Lord Shiva, is self-illuminated. You are directly situated as the supreme truth known as Paramatma. Please repeat, O Lord, the 5 important Vedic mantras are represented by your 5 faces, from which the 38 most celebrated Vedic mantras have been generated. Your Lordship, being celebrated as Lord Shiva, is self-illuminated. You are directly situated as the Supreme Truth, known as Paramatma. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The 5 mantras mentioned in this connection are as follows. 1. Purusha, 2. Agora, 3. Sadhyo Jata, 4. Vamadev, and 5. Ishana. These 5 mantras are within the category of 38 special Vedic mantras chanted by Lord Shiva, who is therefore celebrated as Shiva or Mahadev. Another reason why Lord Shiva is called Shiva, which means all auspicious, is that he is self-illuminated, exactly like Lord Vishnu, who is the Paramatma. Because Lord Shiva is directly an incarnation of Lord Vishnu, he is situated as Lord Vishnu's direct representative. This fact is corroborated by a Vedic mantra. Patim Vishvasyat Meshwaram Shashvatam Shivam Achyutam. The Supersoul is called by many names, of which Maheshwar, Shiva, and Achyuta are specially mentioned. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunatanyana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhastam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadammayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. O Lord, the 5 important Vedic mantras are represented by your 5 faces, from which the 38 most celebrated Vedic mantras have been generated. Your Lordship, being celebrated as Lord Shiva, is self-illuminated. You are directly situated as the supreme truth known as Paramatma. So this is the section where they've been churning the ocean and the poison has just come out. The halahal poison has just emanated from the ocean. And all the demigods are in distress because everyone can get killed by this poison. So by the instruction of Lord Vishnu, they all go to Lord Shiva to help them, to protect them from this poison. So Lord Vishnu himself was competent enough to actually handle it himself. He could have, because he's already incarnated as Kurma and Ajita and so many forms to help the demigods churn the ocean. So he could have actually got rid of the poison by himself. But it's stated that in order to give credit to Lord Shiva, who is very dear to the Lord, then the Lord did not... He wanted to give the credit to Lord Shiva. So he didn't do it himself. He actually wanted Lord Shiva to do it. So the Lord himself with the demigods went to Lord Shiva to pray for him, for his protection. And these are the prayers that the demigods are singing to Lord Shiva, glorifying with so many prayers. Because Lord Shiva is a representative of the Supreme Lord, therefore he's worshipped on the level of Vishnu. So it's not that he is Supreme Lord, but because he's a representative of the Lord, then he's worshipped as like the Lord. Just like when we sing in the Purvastic prayers, Sakshat Dharitve Nasamasta Shastri, we sing that we worship the spiritual master is worshipped as much as the Supreme Lord because he's the most confidential servitor of the Lord. So because Lord Shiva is such a confidential servitor of the Lord, a representative of the Lord, then he can be worshipped as good as the Lord. Although he's not the Lord, he's worshipped on the level of Vishnu because he's an incarnation of the Lord, and he's also a very confidential servitor of the Lord. Because he's the greatest devotee, Vaishnava Yatha Shambhu, then he's very dear to the Lord. So, and Krishna likes his devotees to be worshipped even more than him. And even Lord Shiva, in his conversation with his wife Parvati, he says that, you know, the highest form of worship is the worship of Vishnu. And higher than that is the worship of his devotees, of Tadiya, that belongs to the Lord. So the higher worship is of the Lord's devotees. So all the expansions or categories of the Lord possess only some percentages of the Lord's qualities or attributes, and all the avatars or all Vishnu Tattva possess up to 94%. So like Krishna has 64 qualities in full, an unlimited degree. And the next one is Lord Vishnu. He possesses 60 of those qualities because Krishna has 4 qualities that even Lord Vishnu doesn't have. Can anyone remember those 4 qualities? Venus. Yeah.
He doesn't have a weapon as a flute.
He plays a flute, yeah.
He's always in the association with the belief.
Mm-hmm. And he has unparalleled beauty. So unparalleled beauty. He plays the flute, which enchants all living entities. He has loving relationships with his devotees, and he has unparalleled pastimes as well. So, so Lord Vishnu, he doesn't possess those 4 qualities. So he possesses 60 of those qualities. So that's like 94%. And then the next category is Lord Shiva. He possesses 55 qualities of those 64. So that's like 84% of those qualities. So he's the Shiva Tattva. And then the Jivas, including Lord Brahma is also a Jiva Tattva. The Jivas possess only 50 qualities of the 64. So that's 78%. So they can't possess any more than those 50 qualities. So we can see how the Lord Shiva is between the Vishnu Tattva and a Jiva Tattva. He's a Shiva Tattva. He's a category of his own. So he's almost got all the qualities of Lord Vishnu, but not quite. So in these verses, the demigods compare the various elements of the universe with the limbs of Lord Shiva. So they're saying that the fire is like Lord Shiva's mouth, the earth is his face, his feet. The time is his movements, the direction are his ears, the Varuna is his tongue, the sky is his navel, the air is breathing, and so on. And here it's saying that the Vedic mantras are what does it say? The Vedic mantras are represented by his 5 faces. And they're connected to the 7 layers of the body, of his body. So Krishna or Vishnu is very dear to Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva is very dear to Lord Krishna. Similarly, Lord Shiva is to be honored as much as the Supreme Lord because he is greatest Vaishnava. But we don't worship Lord Shiva as independent of Lord Krishna. That would be an offense, like we have the 10 offenses against the holy name, and the second offense is to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the names of Lord Krishna. So we don't worship Lord Shiva or see him as independent or equal to Krishna, but we worship him as the greatest devotee. In that sense, he's equal to Krishna in that way. And so sometimes it can be quite confusing because if we were not in Krishna consciousness and we read these verses, we would get confused because it's saying that Lord Shiva is the supreme, right? They're saying that Lord Shiva is Paramatma, he's the supreme, he's the creator, everything. So if somebody were to read this without reading the Bhagavatam and just read these verses, they would think that Lord Shiva is the greatest, right? Because that's what it's intending to say here in the verses. But Prabhupada in the purports is saying, no, this is Lord Shiva is actually the reason why this is because he's actually an incarnation of Lord Vishnu, and actually this glorification is actually for Lord Vishnu. It's not for Lord Shiva. So the reason for this is because to save any confusion, the one verse that we all have to really learn and to actually see the whole Bhagavatam through this one verse is in the Bhagavatam, the first canto, third chapter, 28th verse, which is Eti Chamsa Kalapum Sat Krishnas tu Bhagavan Swayam. This is a very important verse. It's called the Paribhasa Sutra. It's considered the emperor verse, like the king. So Jiva Goswami describes that this verse is establishes Krishna as the Supreme Personality of God, the source of all incarnations. And he states that this is the emperor of all the verses in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So because it's the most conclusive in establishing the supremacy of Krishna. So this verse, Eti Chamsa Kalapumsha. I'm good on board. You got it, that one, right? So Jiva Goswami is explaining that this verse is actually the king or the emperor of all the verses of the Bhagavatam. And the verses of the Bhagavatam are compared to an army. So you can see all these 18,000 verses are like an army. And this one verse is considered the commander or the emperor of all that army. So just like the army follows the king or the emperor, so all these verses in the Bhagavatam follow this one verse. So, and it's stated that a Paribhasa Sutra of a book is like a ruling king, and all the statements in that book have to obey this one sutra, this one verse. So if throughout the book there are statements that don't obey this Paribhasa Sutra, then the reader may reject it, or they can interpret that statement to make it agree with the Paribhasa Sutra. So like in that verse it says, Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam, that means that Krishna is the source of all incarnations and all the incarnations emanate from him. He is the supreme. So then all these verses, we can see in that light that actually this is a glorification of Krishna or Vishnu. It's not. And that's what Prabhupada is doing. He's aligning it with the Paribhasa Sutra that this is actually meaning Vishnu, Krishna. So here Lord Shiva is represented as an incarnation of Vishnu. So we can understand these in the proper context, that Lord Shiva is a great Vaishnava, and because he's an incarnation of the Lord, these verses apply to him, applicable to him. So especially those who are not in Krishna consciousness, and sometimes we meet people in the street who are following Hinduism, and some think that all gods are equal, or they say, no, Krishna is an incarnation of Vishnu. So because they don't have proper understanding of the Srimad Bhagavatam, but Srimad Bhagavatam is the greatest praman, or the greatest evidence, the greatest truth. So this emperor verse, we should quote, saying, look, Krishna, it says here in the Bhagavatam that all these incarnations are either portions or the plenary portions of the Lord, and Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. And also, we can also use this statement from the Brahmanda Purana, which states that 1,000 names of Vishnu equals one name of Lord Ram, and 3 names of Lord Ram equals one name of Krishna. So who is greater then? If 1,000 names of Vishnu chanted equals one name of Lord Ram, and 3 names of Lord Ram equals one name of Krishna, then from this statement, it means Krishna is the supreme, because you need to chant 3,000 names of Vishnu to equal one name of Krishna. So Krishna shows, and also Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, he shows the universal form, and then he also shows his four-handed form, four-armed form, Vishnu. So all these forms, the universal form, the Vishnu forms, all these other forms in the Bhagavatam, the different avatars, Kurma avatar, Varaha avatar, Matsya avatar, they're all emanating from Krishna. Krishna is the source of all these forms, and all these forms actually are within Krishna himself. They're present with Krishna in Krishna's form. And we can see that if we read the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, that Gopa Kumar, he's going through all the different realms of the spiritual sky, and he goes to Vaikuntha, then he goes to Ayodhya Dham, then he goes to Dwarka Dham in the spiritual world, then he finally goes to Goloka Vrindavan. And he notices how the devotees and the Lord in all these different realms, they actually, as he progresses higher, they actually look more and more beautiful. So in Vaikuntha, they're beautiful, but when he goes to Ayodhya, they're even more beautiful. When he goes to Dwarka, they're even more beautiful, you know. So Krishna and his devotees look even more beautiful. Then when he finally goes to Goloka Vrindavan, then that's when he unites with Krishna. And this is the perfection, because this is the highest form of Krishna. So all these evidences we have is to prove that Krishna is the supreme Godhead, and his devotees are so very dear to him. That's why they are worshipable as the Lord, like Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva is such a great devotee that in the Bhagavatam, there is a statement, there's some verses describing Lord Shiva's greatness, and it's saying that Lord Shiva has faultless vision, and it's Prabhupada in the purport says that, you know, generally people see the good and bad. They see the good in people and they see the faults. But he says somebody who's more advanced, they will overlook the faults and they'll see the good. So somebody may have lots of faults, but an advanced Vaishnava will overlook those faults and they will see the good. But Lord Shiva is such a magnanimous personality that even if a devotee possesses a small, tiny minuscule amount of good, Lord Shiva magnifies that quality and magnifies it greatly. So this is that's why Lord Shiva is the greatest Vaishnava, because that's his quality, that you magnify the also good in somebody. Shishipodintai Mai Krishna Jai. And so that's why sometimes you see Lord Shiva has got so many associates, but they're all like hobgoblins and ghosts, and because Lord Shiva is so great that he sees a little good in all of them, you know, even those personalities that have got lots of bad qualities. So and Lord Shiva is very forgiving and compassionate, and just see how great he is that he was prepared to drink the ocean of the poison from the ocean so that others can be saved, because for the welfare of others, Lord Shiva was ready to sacrifice himself to benefit the universe, all living entities. So that's why Lord Shiva is the greatest Vaishnava. And so we should respect and offer him all respects, just like we would, because Krishna, his representatives are as to be worshipped as good as him, to be respected and in a sense honoured in the same way as him. And also like a king is a representative of a lord, he should be respected in the same way. It's a bit difficult in this day and age, because in this day and age, people don't really have proper respect for anyone, especially not authorities, right? We find that in the modern age, no one really respects authority in this day and age. So, but in the Vedic culture, all living entities are to be respected, and especially those who are representing the Lord. So the spiritual master is a representative of the Lord. The king is a representative of the Lord. Here, the great Lord Shiva is a representative of the Lord. So these personalities should be respected as good, honoured as good as the Lord. So we can see from the Bhagavatam how respect should be given to these personalities. So it helps us to understand. And even Krishna himself, When he comes, he offers so much honor and respect to the Brahmanas, to the Vaishnavas, to great sages and saints. And this is to help us to understand the importance of honoring all these great personalities. Does anyone have any questions?
When Gopkumar was going through the universe, did he go to Kailash?
Did you go to see Lord Shiva? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
He did, yeah.
They embraced each other and like by the neck or something. They were like so ecstatic.
Okay. So what happened after that?
And then he went to another realm. Once after Nahesh. I don't know. Just remember the experience.
Comes after Vaikuntha, no?
Yeah. So then, Vaikuntha, then there's Ayodhya, then Dwarka, then Golok. On that way. So, okay.
Thank you, Masterji. I just reflecting, as you're saying that Lord Shiva can see like any good, even in the most degraded of living entities. So how do we develop that vision of Lord Shiva to see the good in everyone, even if it's...
We can't imitate it artificially.
Yeah, but how do we, we make some endeavor to develop it, Like even on the street, we see like very degraded people begging and, doing things that aren't so favorable. How can we develop that vision to see some good in them?
By chanting properly, by being Krishna conscious. It's a gradual development. We're not going to be able to see that overnight. So, it's not. It's like a very advanced stage of Krishna consciousness. It's like an Uttama Adhikari. He doesn't see anybody as like a non-devotee. He sees everybody as a devotee. So it's very highly elevated. We can't really imitate that immaturely because then we'll not. It's an artificial state of mind then, and we will create problems, because we are not in the stage where, because a Madhyamajika has to discriminate. He has to see the innocent and he has to see the envious, otherwise he can't preach properly. So a Madhyama, we're aspiring to be Madhyama Adhikari actually first. We have to start developing the mood of a Madhyama Adhikari first, and that is to discriminate. So that, from Kanishta we can't jump to Uttama. We have to go through the intermediary stage, which is the Madhyama. So Madhyama, he sees the Supreme Personality, he worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he associates with devotees, he shows mercy to the innocent, and he avoids the envious. So this is the stage we actually aspire to come to. And then when we come to that stage, we can develop it further to an Uttama Adhikari. But, it's a gradual process, we can't jump to it.
What if someone starts off envious, then becomes innocent, then becomes a devotee, and then becomes envious again?
What do you mean, what happens to them?
Yeah, it looks like sometimes they go forward, and then it looks like they go backward, and then they end up being worse than they were when they first... Maybe they started off being innocent, then they became a devotee, and then they became envious.
Well, still Krishna doesn't forget the good that they've done. Krishna still sees the devotional service that they performed. And even if they stray off the path, Krishna will protect them. Somehow or another, he'll bring them back to Krishna consciousness again and help them to understand, to give up their envy. But this is the problem, because we can easily stray off the path because we're in the material world, and if we're not taking good association, if we're not taking good association of the Shastra or of devotees or of the holy name, then we'll have these anarthas will continue to remain, or they'll come up again by committing offences. So we have to be wary that these not to commit offences against devotees, because then this envy will turn up. And
It's a different subject matter though, so if you can...
So is that okay?
We could explore it further.
So if they take up the path of devotional service again, in a better way, attentive chanting, then they will get free from that envy and also become good again. So it's a gradual process.
Is the level of a person's envy determined by the level of criticism?
In one sense, yes. Criticism is a sign of pride and envy. So we have to be wary of that, because one of the first offences against the holy name is to blaspheme the devotees or criticize devotees who have dedicated their lives to propagating the holy name of the Lord.
It's just about the pastime now, because the other day I'd mentioned something in class, so I just like to see your take on it as well, see if it's similar. So the prayers that have been offered by the Prachetas, and I was just wondering why the Prachetas were chosen as representatives of all the demigods and everyone to offer those prayers to Lord Shiva. I was saying that because they're like directly below Lord Shiva, so they offered the prayers. I was wondering if you've got any insights into it.
Don't understand the question.
Why were the Prachetas chosen as the representatives to offer the... Because when there's an assembly of devotees, like in Naimisharanya, those are representatives chosen to speak to Sukadeva Goswami, which was Sanaka Rishi, right? Mm-hmm. So we have a whole assembly of demigods, and the Prachetas are the ones that are offering the prayers to Lord Shiva. So I was wondering if you have any insight into why the Prachetas were chosen, why they offered the prayers and it wasn't Lord Brahma or, one of the other sons of Lord Brahma.
No, because Lord Shiva appeared to them, isn't it? Because they were performing all those austerities. So Lord Shiva appeared to them.
I was under the impression that all the demigods were present at the time. Was Lord Shiva sat on top of the mountain and they all went to approach him?
I don't remember that. I only remember that because the Prachetas were doing so much they were performing so much austerities.
One thing is, in terms of hierarchy, then Prachetas have got to be the most elevated to generate the population, whereas other demigods may not be generating population, they may just be enjoying themselves. So then the Prachetas in the hierarchy of authority would be considered the most elevated because they're the ones that are given the duty of producing more living entities, and they'd have to be elevated to do that.
Yeah, so on text 20 it says, the demigods observed Lord Shiva sitting on the summit of Kailash Hill with his wife Bhavani for the explicit development of the three worlds. He was being worshipped by the greatly saintly persons desiring liberation. The demigods offered him their obeisances and prayers with great respect. So yeah, it says in text 20 that Lord Shiva was sat there, and all it's implying that all the demigods who approached Lord Shiva and they all offered prayers, but it only mentions in text 21 it says the Prachetas said they're offering all the prayers. So
yes, I understand that.
Anyway, it's okay.
Yes, Venus.
Hare Krishna, thank you for your class. I have something on a different topic. At the beginning, you were mentioning talking about qualities, and I was just wondering the qualities that might have in this material body, or just material qualities, are they somehow related to our constitutional position as a soul? Because we have because in the material body is it's not internal, it's full of misery, whereas we as a soul, we are blissful, internal, full of knowledge. So sometimes we have these qualities. Are they somehow related to our spiritual form, or is it disconnected, or I don't know?
Not necessarily, because we're in a conditioned form right now. So it's only when we become, fully Krishna conscious, then all those proper, real qualities will have developed. So, it's not necessarily that this is what our spiritual form is like, or spiritual qualities are. I mean, it can be, but it's not necessarily so.
If people have big noses, they could be pelicans in the spiritual world.
Or big ears, it can be elephants.
In Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, then we can see the kind of the connection, like, for example, what's it called? The different associates of Lord Chaitanya, they were associates of Krishna in Krishna Lila. So sometimes those qualities that they have, like Jagganath Pandit, he had a particular relationship with Lord Chaitanya, and he's actually Satyabhama in Krishna Lila. So because Satyabhama had a particular quarreling nature with Krishna, then same would appear in Lord Chaitanya Lila. So that's, but they're in their eternal forms. It's not like a conditioned form. So we can't really say, well, because I'm like this, that means I must be like this in the spiritual form. Because we're not awakened our pure love for Krishna, so we don't really know what our qualities are or what our relationship with Krishna is yet. So we can't really speculate, well, this is what I'm like, Is that okay?
Is it something like, because in Brahma it says, our form is Satchidananda Vigraha, so same as Krishna's form. That's sort of like a base, and then after that, there's a more specific kind of like qualities that each of us has, right? Mm-hmm. Something like that. And so I guess we just meditate that, that Satchidananda, and then after that other qualities can be revealed, right? Something like that. Because I'm just kind of like meditating on the qualities and things like that.
Well, like the 50 qualities that Krishna has, you can look them up. The Jiva has 50 qualities of Krishna. So Krishna has so many qualities that we also have, but in minute quantity. And we only have 50 of those qualities. So you can find out from the Nectar of Devotion those qualities that the Jiva has, and you can see all those qualities and try to understand, well, we have these qualities in minute quantity. So then you can meditate on how to develop those qualities, you understand? But we also have unique relationships with Krishna, so it's not like everyone's the same. Everyone has slight unique relationship with Krishna, so they have maybe a quality that nobody else has, or a certain relationship with Krishna that nobody else has. So it's unlimited, really, because there's millions and millions of jivas. So, is there any last-minute questions or comments? Can I stop here? Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, ISKCON Govinda ki jai, Shaprapad ki jai, Shishikoti Taimai Pashishi ki jai, Gaur Premanandi.